We are following some breaking news from Van Nuys, where the LA City Fire Department is working to rescue a dog from the LA River.
KTLA 5's Gil Lavis overhead in Sky 5 with the latest. Gil?
Well, look at that, Glenn and Lou. You're looking at the dog of a lady that fell into the water. The dog and the lady were both going down the LA River when the fire department got the call of both of them in the water. Now, they rescued the woman, a 35-year-old woman, and it sounds like she's okay, but right now the dog is the problem. They tried to rescue the dog one time. They had the dog, and the dog broke free back into the river, and a second attempt from the helicopter above was unsuccessful. Now the dog is on the edge of the river here trying to get to a dry area, or at least an area where the dog can get out. But firefighters, as well as the LAPD, trying to do what they can to rescue this poor dog. But let me come out to a wide shot and show you the LA River here. And that is how much it's moving there. A lot of water in the river side to side. We have people on the walkways alongside, running alongside the dog. But again, the dog found its way to shallow waters here, is able to run at least, have some footing there in the water. But right now the fire department doing all they can to try to get a hoist rescue once again onto this dog. But again, southbound down the river from Woodman is where the dog is right now. And for now, it looks like they're just going to let the dog see if they can get to a dry spot and be able to secure itself there.
And Gil, you said that this dog had a female with him, possibly his or her owner, and the woman is safe. Were they in the river? Was it a dry area and then water came rushing, or do you have any of that information?
Well, initially, it sounded like the woman got swept away with the dog in her arms. They were floating down the river. At one point, they did attempt the rescue. At that point, their water was only about knee-high, they were saying, and it sounds like they were able to pull that lady out of the water. But unfortunately, the dog was not able to get out. Made its way over to the side of the river here, and now has just been kind of jogging there with the pace of the water. Really can't stand its ground, but moving with the water. And again, 2 attempts from the helicopter were unsuccessful. But I'm trying to get a visual. Yeah, there's a helicopter. You see the blades coming through there. That's LA City Fire Rescue helicopter that has the person on board that can be hoisted down and do the rescue. But for now, they are trying to, well, at least the plan for now is to see if the dog will get to a part in the river where they might be able to just stop and stand so that they can get in there and rescue the dog.
Well, Gil, I mean, on a day like this, is there actually any spots like that on the LA River, which is pretty much all contained in this, concrete culvert like this?
Glenn, unfortunately, no. I'm looking up ahead, and it's wall-to-wall water. There might be a slight low spot eventually for this dog to get to. There is other washes that come bring water into the area. That might be another option for the dog, but for now it looks like the dog is just going with the flow and staying afloat.
So there's no exits on the river, where like if someone were to load something into the river that you expect. See, the water looks like it's getting deeper here too, darn it.
It is, and now the dog is starting to, yeah, it's definitely able to float there, and it's been doing that on and off. But again, you can tell how deep it starts to get for the dog when it starts to float. But eventually, they're hoping that he's going to be able to get to some spot along the riverbank there and be able to at least stand its ground and then maybe do the rescue.
When you pull out with your camera, can you look downstream and see if there's anything that's coming along, or is he going to be like this for miles?
You can see people on the bridge there. Yeah, it looks like it. There's a little drainage hole there, but that's not going to be of any help for the dog. But as I keep coming down the river here, you see it's just wall-to-wall water. And then now if it does end up on a shallower spot, it will be able to maybe stand its ground. But for now, it's coming up right into that port there where the water's coming in. We'll see if maybe that's an option. But the dog's looking at it. Look at that. But nope, he's going to go right by that spot. And now he looks like he's able to get his footing there a little bit.
Well, unfortunately, the farther downstream he goes, the water will probably get deeper because the water is coming from other tributaries into the river. You saw that one drainage from that sewer line there, and that's the problem. You're going to have that type of situation. So the water probably not going to get any shallower for a while until, this water starts to drain out into the ocean a lot more than it has already. Gil, I guess one of the problems with trying to drop down there and save this dog is you've got to deal with, one, you got to get ahead of the dog, One, and number two, you got to be concerned about power lines and that type of thing.
Let's hold here, David. Yeah, power lines, trees, and bridges. Let me come out wider again. Here's a tree that could have been problematic maybe for the helicopter there, but as the dog continues south, you have bridges that come into play, so they can't keep the rescuer on that hoist for very long without having to run into one of those issues. But right behind this tree, here's the dog coming out. Once again, there's the helicopter orbiting. They're keeping an eye on the dog. So far, so good. As long as the dog can keep floating or keep its footing there. But eventually they're going to have to do something, maybe bring a ladder down if they can off one of the sides to do the rescue.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Possibly if they know that he's heading in that direction, they could, maybe LAFD could take their engine or one of the trucks down there and drop a ladder in, or possibly hoist one of the firefighters in there to possibly at least stop the dog and then be able to pull them up. And, you know, it's interesting because this LA River, when there's no rain, typically there's nothing in the river. It's like dry as a bone. And now all this water with just the amount of rain that we've had today, and that water is moving as well in that direction too. So it's going to be a struggle for this dog. He must be exhausted, just terrified with the sounds of the helicopter, and also being separated from his owner, and then just being able to not understand where he's going or where he's trying to exit. Maybe something under this bridge, I'm not sure. LAFD was on it originally, right? They were able to save the woman, the owner, possibly of this dog, right?
Yeah, Lou, early on in the rescue attempt, they were able to pull her out, and they did evaluate her. I could hear them talking about her condition. It sounded like she was good to go and probably wouldn't need to be transported to a hospital. She was mostly concerned about her dog, and here we come under Moore Park and Valley Heart is where we're at right now. But so far the dog is pretty resilient. You know, it's just continuing down the river there, and we'll see if this might be an opportunity now. Well, there's another hole there, and she might be, well, wanted to go back in there, but couldn't get up there. But this might be an opportunity here where there is no bridges. There's one more coming up here. Maybe the fire department will attempt something once they've passed that footbridge. But for now, the dog in shallower waters here, you can see his legs now, and that's good.
Well, I think the problem with it, when you got a storm drain that's draining into the river, it's going to be virtually impossible for the dog to jump into that storm drain, because the water's just going to wash him right back out into the water.
Yeah, look at him. He's trying to go upstream. That's even harder to do. That's going to wear out the poor dog. But at least he's in an area now where it's a little shallower, and he actually could stand his ground there. But here he goes back into the deeper water, fortunately.
And we do have a representative from the LA Fire Department, Margaret Stewart, on the line with us. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
So our understanding is that your department rescued the owner, allegedly, of this dog earlier, and then the dog just kept going.
Yes, at about 2:15, we responded to reports of a patient, a victim in the water. They were quickly able to make visual contact of a woman, approximately 35 years old, with a dog. They had a firefighter on a rope system that went over the edge and was able to get her a rescue ring. Unfortunately, she abandoned that rescue ring because she was worried about her dog. We then had a helicopter lower a rescuer down. They were able to secure her and bring her to the side to the ground resources, and the dog continued about 200 feet downriver. They have then, since then, made multiple attempts from the helicopter to rescue the dog. Unfortunately, you know, it's a big dog. It still has energy and it's scared, so it's been fighting our rescuers, as well as it's in enough water that it can still run, and so it's running away. So right now, they're continuing to track the dog. We have ground resources that are moving to be ahead of the dog, and we have a helicopter on scene that's tracking the dog. And they're evaluating what's going to be the best approach to, again, try to effect a rescue. Our concern and what we're seeing now is other civilians going into the water to try to catch this dog, and now they make themselves a risk, and now we have to worry about rescuing them out of the water. So we implore people Never do that. Do not. You're now making the situation worse.
And that's what we're looking at live right now. A guy is in the water with the dog. Looks like he's
now
holding
we have
on to
another
him.
human victim with the dog. So this is a very dangerous situation, and this is exactly what we don't want to have happen. He has no safety equipment in place, and now we have to rescue him.
You said, how did the woman and the dog end up in the water in the first place? I know there are sections of the LA River where there's like islands that you see homeless people setting up a tent. Was it that type of situation, and then the island was just ended up getting flooded?
We don't have any information on the individual. We responded to, reports of a person in the water, so we don't have any information on that.
And the water, the dangerous part about this, even though the water is shallow in some areas where you would think that this guy who has jumped in to hold the dog, but you can see he's struggling because the water is rushing forward.
Absolutely. He will not be able to stand up in this water without getting knocked over. There's debris that his legs could get trapped under. He could hit his head. I mean, there are any number of things that could happen. We understand the intense desire to help the animal. However, our firefighters have the training and the equipment to do this safely and properly, and now this individual is putting their lives and the lives of others that are going to try to rescue him. So we now have a compounding problem.
You see the struggle here because, these guys are running along the wall and they can't even get past this guy almost in time to be able to drop a rope, and he's really struggling. He's trying to stand and trying to stop himself against the wall, but that water, it never looks like it's powerful, even if it's just going really slowly. But the water is, oh, look, okay, so he's got a hold of the...
He's got a rope.
He has the rope now, but still, that's going to bring a lot of water on the dog and the guy.
And the dog, of course, is fighting him.
Trying to hold that rope in your hand is going to, as you can see, this is an extremely dangerous situation. He's going to get tired. The rope's going to burn his hands. It's going to rip out of his hand. We cannot emphasize enough the importance of leaving the rescues to those that are trained and have the proper safety equipment to do so.
Well, it looks like LAPD, Margaret, is here, and not exactly sure if they have the equipment that LAFD would have. It looks like they're maybe going down the river south. They also had some kind of floating device, I think, that they could stick in there, almost like not a raft, but something that maybe the dog and this guy could get on. So if you're just joining us, this is a water rescue in the LA River. Originally, the report came out that a woman and a dog were in the river and trapped. The LAFD was able to rescue the woman, but the dog kept going. So we've been following this dog down the river for quite a while, swimming at some points, walking at some points, and then this random guy, maybe random, may know the person or may know the dog, jumped in and has at least secured the dog to the point where now they have a rope and he's holding on. Imagine how tired they both are.
Yeah, well, the LAPD managed to get ahead of him enough where they could drop a rope, and the man was able to grab a hold of a rope. But the black and white units that we saw there, they've gone away, and everybody we see here are just, regular people here up on, on top of the wall and the fence looking down at the situation. So as far as anybody, coming to the rescue of these two at this point, other than stabilizing the situation with the rope, okay, there's a black and white unit there. Gil, are they going to try to make the rescue right here, does it look like?
Boy, I'm not hearing much from the... I'm trying to even see the helicopter. I see it now. It's orbiting in the area here. This might be an opportunity to get that rescuer down on the hoist to do that. The dog is now on the rope.
Well, all right. Well, unfortunately, we are losing our best eyes in the sky of the situation. So, okay, we back live here? Or is this tape? All right, this is back live. Again, the signal continues to keep breaking up. You see the man did get a hold of the dog, and he's holding onto that rope that was dropped down by the LAPD.
So we are into Ode. We did a pedal turn, but I don't know if that helped the situation.
Margaret, are you still on the line with us? No, okay. So, of course,
Are we, stable
LAFD
now?
and
Should we go to
trains for situations like this. And the good news is that at least there is a side road there where LAPD and LAFD, they're clearly aware, they'll be able to bring some kind of apparatus over eventually and hoist either a firefighter down or hoist something down for this guy and the dog. The dog fairly large, almost like a Rottweiler lab look, but he looks pretty content to stay there with the guy. It just has to be difficult because they're both holding on to that rope against the water that can be very powerful. But it looks like the guy's got some really good footing, which is a positive.
Yeah.
But when you do stuff like that, I mean, even think about like water skiing and how exhausting it can be on your upper body and your core. And he actually had to, you know, float down and try to apprehend that dog several times too. So he has to be already exhausted and now holding on. There's also the helicopter that we see there. Gil Levis is in Sky 5 above this helicopter, and then this helicopter, LAFD's firefighters, maybe they're going to be able to drop a firefighter down and pull them up like they do when they're hiking.
Well, it pretty much looks that's probably what they're going to have to do. Question is, you've got to take the dog first this time, because if the man's got the strength to hold on to the rope, because when they rescued the woman, she was fighting to try to save the dog, and that didn't happen. And now you see the firefighter being hoisted down to continue this rescue. And again, are they going to go for the dog first or the man?
Well, that's it. You know, you said dog. It's interesting. Usually they pick human over animal, but it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But LAFD definitely has a training situation. They're probably extra prepared today, knowing that these rains were coming. And as we mentioned, the river, LA River, is always just dry as a bone, and now just super flooded and flowing. And so they've got to basically make it to a perfect mark where this guy's going to be able to go down the river and not pass them, but be able to get over there to the wall. It'll be fascinating to see how this works. And then they take each one up individually.
Yeah, and they're going to have to make some kind of adjustment here because he's already passed him.
No.
In the middle of the river, and there goes the dog.
Oh no, he got nervous. Oh no.
Well, now they're going to go after the man for sure. The dog is going to be let go there for now. But the man here holding on, it looks like he's struggling. He's really extended there. You see the rescuer in the middle of the river. They're talking about the dog. I'm going to come out real quick. I don't see the dog, but they're talking about maybe someone else might have got in the river to try to help the dog out. But here's the man, the rescuer downstream. They're going to move the helicopter to the north and to the west to try to get that man. I mean, listening, that's why I'm pausing here. I'm listening to the rescuers talking about the dog. The dog is back on his feet, running down or walking with the pace of the water. But now the rescuer, you see him pointing to the right there. He wants the ship to move towards the right, and he's kind of directing them. See, he's moving his hands there. So he wants them to go forward and to the right. And it's just a slow process here. They're going to try to get that rescuer all the way over to behind the man there, and then put a strap around him and then hoist him up as quickly as possible. But you see the downwash from the aircraft, the people there on the side of the riverbank, and you see him coming in now to grab that man. He's going to hold onto that rope, and then there we go. So they're going to put that hoist harness around him. Whoa, he let go of the rope. There it goes.
Well.
Not good, but let's see if they are able to hoist him up real quick and keep him from going down the river. Yep, they got him.
Oh my gosh. And he's going to hold on to him? Oh.
Yep.
Well, you know, it's so interesting.
I think he got that strap around him.
What people don't realize either, if you've been around helicopters when they get close to the ground and how they whip dust around and wind and that water and that rescue. Oh, okay, so they are safely on the ground there. Oh my goodness.
And he is exhausted. Look at that. He's down on the ground there.
Yes.
That officer just laying him down. They got him just in time, Lou and Glenn. Here goes the hoist rescuer up into the helicopter, and now the focus will be on that dog again. But they're going to get some firefighters over here to get a look at that man and treat him to see what kind of condition he's in, but thoroughly exhausted, no doubt.
Well, he was in the water for probably 30 minutes plus and
holding on to that
working.
rope for about 20.
Right, and holding on to probably a 100-plus pound dog as well, who
Valley
was also
and
struggling.
Bloomfield is the locator.
And then when the helicopter got closer, what happened, we are presuming, is that the dog was fine in the man's arms, but when that helicopter dropped down and the wind started whipping up in the water, and that helicopter is extremely loud, the dog probably just got scared. Oh.
Yeah, it sounds like that's what happened the first time. The dog was wiggling around in the rescuer's arm and broke free. So unfortunately, the dog, not understanding exactly what's going on, the helicopter comes overhead and just broke free from the man. So, wow, a difficult situation to say the least. And the dog here now moving down. At least for that moment, for that little bit of time, the dog was able to get a little bit of rest, maybe in the man's arms. But still, this is very exhausting for anyone to be in this water, let alone this poor dog.
Gil, again, can we look downriver? Is there any section that opens up at all? Does this just go on and on and on?
Yeah, it looks like it does. Let me come all the way down here. Further south, you see the officers there. You got firefighters on the bridge, but no, it's like no dry land, no embankment to speak of. It's all wall-to-wall cement in this part of the LA River.
It's so surprising that there's no entry into the river to be able to put in a trailer or a boat or a raft or something. That we do see the firefighters on the bridge. I'm not sure what good that's going to do, dropping down from there, and then obviously LAPD along the side. But
well, they do have places like that, but unfortunately here, because it's a heavy populated area, they need to keep the water contained in a culvert like this to prevent flooding. So that's, this could go on for miles like this.
Yeah. Margaret, thank you for calling back in. Margaret Stewart with LAFD. And we saw the man being rescued, LAFD just doing such a fantastic job. The dog got loose and is still floating down the river now. The guy looked exhausted once you guys got him.
Absolutely, and that's why we can't strongly enough discourage people from doing exactly what he did. The likelihood of him being able to hold on to that dog and keep himself above water was low. We saw that was not successful. Fortunately, we were able to rescue him, but now we've had to pull two people out of the water. The ground resources are in place to attempt a ground-based rescue. We still have a helicopter on scene in the water attempting to make a rescue. We also have, one of our helicopters has to refuel because they've been on station so long. So this is, these are the challenges of these types of incidents, and they're trying to capture this dog safely, and we don't want any bystanders to enter the water and create a third rescue necessary.
Can you please help us understand how you guys train for something like this? If this were, say, a person in the river right now, how do you? It's like when we follow pursuits. There's you guys go ahead, or LAPD goes ahead with the spike strip, right? And you take that chance with the spike strip. How do you train for this? Is there essentially like a thing that's similar to the spike strip that you could dam up the river and find him?
No, we can't. The power of this water, you can't dam it up. We have several different techniques that we practice. We use the water systems up in the valley to put people in and learn how to capture them. We have capture straps. We have rescue rings. We have our helicopter rescuers. So there are a variety of different methods that we use depending on the scenario presented. The speed of the water, the depth of the water, whether there's obstructions, whether a boat, putting in one of our swift water rescue boats is the best option. It entirely depends on the circumstances presented. And then when you have a patient, air quotes, patient that's fighting you, like the dog is, and running away, then that complicates it. People may think, oh, it's simple, just grab the dog. But this is a large dog that is scared and is defensive and is running away. So we have to do this safely, and we're not going to take unnecessary risks. So we have to take the opportunities that are best set up for the equipment and for the operations we have.
Yeah, and obviously when you've got like you said, a large dog, that's going to fight you, that means the dog's probably going to claw you and bite you, which is got to be tough on the rescuer, because you can't calm the dog down.
Right. Not only biting is one thing, but just when you have a dog that size that's fighting with its body and you're in that water trying to get your arms around it, it can just, break away from you where you can't physically hold on, even sustaining bites where you just can't physically hold on to the dog. And so the hope was that the dog would get a little more tired so it would not fight so much so they could grab a hold of him. But, we are still in this operation. We haven't given up. For those that are concerned that we're just going to leave the dog, we're having to reposition further downstream every time we make a rescue effect. We have to then move all of our equipment down to the next location. So it takes time to get that set up. We have one shot, and then we have to redeploy again.
Yeah, where exactly can you pinpoint where the dog is right now? Because when we came on this, it was in Studio City, and obviously he's got to be way outside of Studio City by now.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where it is. I've been talking with you guys, so I've missed the last couple of updates. So I don't know exactly where along the river he is right now.
Margaret, let's talk about the young man who jumped in, presumably heroic for him to think to save the dog. But you're saying that that is definitely something that you guys do not want folks to do. And we saw it happen. He was able to capture this dog for a moment and hold on, but ultimately he was exhausted, could have drowned himself, and now this dog is loose again.
Exactly. See, people think, we understand the desire to help the animal. We absolutely understand that. A lot of people in the LAFD are dog lovers as well, so we get it. However, they don't know what they're doing. They don't have the training. They don't understand the power of this water. They don't have the equipment. There's no safety in place. They are risking their lives unnecessarily, as well as risking the first responders, because now instead of being able to, handle the dog, we now have another person we have to rescue. So we understand the desire to help. However, you actually create more of a problem by doing something like that individual did. So he's just lucky that he's alive and, supposedly uninjured, apparently uninjured.
Well, we saw a prime example of that just, 10 or 15 minutes ago. The guy did jump in and you had to rescue him, and the dog ended up going farther down the river. I think as long as the water stays fairly shallow where he can walk, it probably actually helps, even with the water, pushing him down the river. He's going to get exhausted, but he's not going to get too exhausted. And but you just got to be able to pull him out of here at some point before he hits water that's actually, above his head. Yeah,
unfortunately, they can't reason on that. So being able to say, oh, this is shallow water here, let me take a break. He's fearful. If you've ever been around a situation, the helicopters above, it's extremely loud, and then people yelling at you from the side, you don't know if they're friend or foe. And poor little guy is just doing the best he can to figure out how to get out of this situation. And we've been watching this now. We jumped on a little bit before 3 o'clock, and he was in the water prior to that. So he's been in panic mode for probably 45 minutes to an hour now, and it just has to be super exhausted, which could help and hurt. I mean, obviously, if he gets in deep water, that could be not a good thing for him. He may not be able to continue, but at the same time, if he's super tired and they go in to try to save him, you see those dogs sometimes in ice when they fall in water, they just like give in because they're so exhausted, and maybe that would be a great situation. Hopefully when the firefighters get to a point where they can maybe either hoist down to get him or do some type of trapping system at a bridge. You can see on the right-hand side of your screen, live images on the left. On the right-hand side is earlier when this young man jumped in to try to save this dog. He wrestled him. The dog fought him back a little bit, but then ultimately gave in, and he was able to get him up against a wall. But just, it's not like he's wading in a pond. This water is swift and it's strong, and he's trying to take care and move a 100-pound dog who was cooperating, but it's still
Yeah, I
just
heard that.
a lot trying to make that happen. But he did secure himself, if you're just joining us, he secured himself against a wall, but once they came in to hoist and bring him up, the dog jumped out of his arms.
Yeah, and you can see just when he initially got to the dog was fighting against him.
Going to go right under us.
Let's go back up to Gil Lavis in Sky 5, who's been tracking this dog floating down the LA River. Gil, where are we at this point?
Glenn and Lou, we're looking at Whitsett and Valley Heart is the locator our map is giving us. We're going to adjust our helicopter a little bit here because the dog's about to go under us. But I was just listening as you were talking to the LA City firefighters on the ground. They were talking about lower water on the north side of the river, near Coldwater Canyon and the river. But we do understand that I don't see him. My pilot saw some rescuers in the water at Laurel Canyon, so there may be even shallower water there for them to grab this dog. So we're hoping that's going to happen relatively soon here. But again, the dog in what looks like water up to his waistline at least, and then he's getting into a little bit heavier water now. But yeah, he's just doing his best here, what he can do or she can do, floating down the river right now. And we're going to try to get into a better spot so we can get a closer look at the dog. But for now, the dog's kind of on its own, but the good news is rescuers up ahead that may be able to grab him somewhere between Laurel Canyon and Coldwater Canyon.
Yeah, he's obviously in deeper water now. You can tell with the way he will turn sideways a little bit. He just did a complete 360 there as he goes under this bridge here at Valley Heart and Whitsett Avenue, and we'll see him emerge here on the other side. And as Gil said, hopefully getting into some shallower water here soon enough, and there he is coming out from under the bridge, and it looks like he might be walking again.
And we do have a witness on the phone with us. Sorry, sir, I didn't catch your name, but you were next to the gentleman who jumped into the water. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, my name is Brian, and the guy that jumped in the water, he kind of ran past me on a footbridge between Woodman and Fulton on the river. There's just a footbridge there, and he ran across with looked like 20, 30 feet of orange extension cord. And he was big, like 6'2", 6'3", and one of the people there with where I was standing had a camera, had a feed of the view, and we saw that was the guy that jumped in. I mean, he looked ready to go, but a lot of people were just concerned that it's. I mean, I don't know anything about rescues or anything. A lot of people were like, why isn't anybody in there with the kayak or something? I don't know. It seemed confusing, and other people were lamenting that. I really hope maybe this person didn't have a leash or something. It's all the more reason to remember to use a leash, no matter how good your recall is with the dog. Yeah. But yeah, people dozens and dozens of people super concerned. But people were kind of running along the path of where the dog was going as he was floating down the river. We'd call to it and he'd look up at us. One person had a tennis ball. But then we all kind of got stopped because there's gates, spiked gates at each intersection. So there's only so far that you can go without jumping over a fence.
Are you familiar with really this area? Do you live in the area?
Yeah.
So the river we were talking about typically is just bone dry. And this rain came, just 8 hours or so ago, and the river filled up pretty quickly, right?
Correct. The river filled really quickly, but it also, it goes from like crazy high to like much lower. Like my balcony has a view of the river, and I could see it from my place even when I'm not on the balcony at the height of the rain. And then a few hours later, it's lower, but it could be 4 or 5 feet deep. Who knows? But it's probably like 20 feet down there. So a lot of people think they can be a hero by jumping and you destroy your ankles.
Yeah.
And it's a fast current. It's a real fast current, so it's scary. And the dog's probably just super frightened, and there's a lot of people that are frightened for him. But again, just a reminder to everybody: use a leash, no matter how good your dog's recall is. If you live in a city, use that leash.
Well, we still don't know what the situation was with the dog and the woman, if it was a transient with a dog or if it was a homeowner who was just out on a walk, but they were actually in the river, which is surprising. how that happened unless they slipped in. But we do have possibly down near Laurel Canyon and Coldwater some firefighters possibly in the water is what we're hearing from our Gil Leva. So hopefully he's somewhat close to that. Are you watching this TV from, are you watching from your home?
I just got back into my home from being along the river because I got stopped by the gates. So I just got back, so I'm not watching right now, but so I'm just talking to you guys. Didn't want the feedback or anything. So, what does it look like to you guys right now?
Well, he's basically at Valley Hard Drive and Laurel Grove Avenue, if you're familiar with that. I think a concern here is if there's another tributary that feeds into this and then it continues on, that would make the water much deeper. Yeah. And that's a big concern.
And you mentioned the current. I mean, I don't think any of us really realize until you're down there how fast this current is. It's not stagnant water, and it's pushing him along. He's now walking, but even standing, it's a big push on him, and he must be so exhausted. But when you guys were standing out there watching this, Brian, the water goes by very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a poor judge of how fast things go, but 20 miles an hour is fast. Yeah. And this is like it's like coasting speed in your car.
Well, he's in shallow water right now, much shallower water.
That's good.
Well, now he's turned around, going the opposite direction for some reason. I think people are scaring him on the edge of the river when they yell down at him. So now he's turned around, trying to go back upriver, but he just doesn't understand. So frustrating.
But even with humans, when you're in a panic situation, logic goes out the window. But this is a dog, and definitely scared. Yeah, definitely scared. And Chopper scared dogs.
Oh boy, here we got somebody else climbing the fence with some kind of long route. I don't know what he is thinking. But this is somebody else trying to be a hero, and this is not going to work.
Don't fall in.
No, don't do it.
Not only that, he's going to drop into shallow water. He could sprain an ankle or break a leg.
Yeah, and now the dog is past him 50 feet, so he's heading back in that direction. Margaret Stewart from LAFD was saying that, they are, working logistically. The fire department hasn't given up on the dog. They just had to do that rescue, and now they have to go down river and set back up in another section. Hopefully there'll be a place where they can either be in the water in a shallow area, but that's probably going to have the dog turn back around. But every time he's turned around and gone in the opposite direction of the water, he eventually turns back around, because that's just,
well, it's exhausting.
I think he's smart enough to know at least not to do that. But as long as, and like Glenn, you said, as long as the water is shallow and he can walk along and rest a bit, that's going to save his life or her life. The deep water section, if you've treaded, in water and trying to tread water for even 5 minutes sometimes is exhausting. And this little guy has been going for over 45 minutes now in the water.
Well, it appears this water is a lot shallower here.
Yes.
So that will certainly help. And there's the same guy dropping that, whatever that is, down over the wall, which doesn't help at all.
So we're at Valley Hart and Bellingham Avenue. So hopefully we're trying to get near Laurel Canyon and Coldwater area, just because that's where we're hearing that possibly there's a setup with some firefighters.
There's deeper water again here.
If you're just joining us, it's 3:30. I'm Lou Parker along with Glenn Walker and the KTLA team here. We've been following this dog rescue, several rescues in fact. It initially came in as a woman and her dog, and they tried to save both of them, and the woman actually slipped out of the first harness. She was worried about her dog, but they were eventually able to save her, take her to dry land, and the dog has been floating or walking for at least 40 minutes. About halfway through that, you see on the right-hand side of your screen from earlier, a guy jumped in and attempted to help this dog and rescue this dog. 100+ pound dog. It's a big dog, and he did a great job trying to hold on to the dog and got himself pinned up against the wall and was roped and was holding on. But when firefighters came in to rescue both of them, the dog got scared and
fought loose.
Yeah, fought loose, and the firefighters were able to rescue this guy who we don't know if he was a friend of the family or just decided to jump in and try to do this, even though the fire department says that they do not want people to do this because it puts their lives in danger. It puts the rescuers' lives in danger. But he was able to rescue that guy, pull him up, and when he pulled him up and put him on dry land, the guy collapsed. He was just absolutely exhausted. So you can imagine this dog, same thing, exhausted.
You know, the dog's turning sideways again, and that usually means the water's, getting a little deep, and he doesn't have, control. He can't get his legs out from under him or get his legs under him to control his body. And again, he just continues to head on down the river, and I mean, it's attracting a big crowd. That's not necessarily helping, especially when people are along the side, as you said, yelling down at the dog. Doesn't help the situation at all. But eventually, hopefully, at some point, they'll be able to drop a rescuer down there to pluck him out of the water.
Is Margaret still on the line with us? From LAFD? Okay. One of my friends with LAFD had texted and said that there's something called a haul system that they might be able to do. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Hoping that they're able to drop something in. She had also mentioned capture strap. So it sounds like obviously they prepare for situations like this, not always an animal. I wish they could stay this level of water. That would be fantastic. But as Margaret from LAFD said, it also depends on the situation and not putting the firefighters in any danger as well. But this would be great if the water stays like this, if he can get down to where these firefighters are allegedly in the water. We're not sure if that's a definite. Gil, have you heard any more radio chatter about that?
Yeah, unfortunately, Lou, I can't show you right now, but there's supposed to be a dry spot on the river. I don't know if it's on the north side or the south side, but I hear the fire department talking about getting rescuers down there on foot into that dry area, and hopefully the dog will be able to make its way over to them and not be afraid of them. That's one of the biggest problems right now they're facing. Let me come out again, now that the dog is in pretty shallow waters here. Let me try to find that real quick. But it looks like it's still a ways to go before it gets into that area. I don't see it yet, but again, the dog just continuing here in shallower waters, and now let me see if the dog actually makes a stop here, because it might be able to stand its ground there in this water that's moving not as fast as it was just a short time ago.
Well, that's the slowest we've seen him walk the entire day. I mean, he is tired, but at least the water is shallow enough where he can kind of pace himself a little bit. And there's somebody else dropping a rope down. I don't know what they're thinking. That's not going to help.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm listening to the firefighters talking about, they're talking about a convergent point where the river comes together, and one unit's going to take the north side and another one possibly on the right. They might try to put a rope across the water, and we'll see if that happens. But it sounds like what they're saying in that area, I'm just explained, it sounds like it's dry on both sides of the river is what they're saying. So we'll see what happens. That sounds like it's going to be their best opportunity to get this dog out of the river.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, even dropping these ropes over the side doesn't do any good, because say, yes, you got it around his neck, then he's going to drown. Because basically you're going to have to hold him up against the water unless you can lift him up and get him out of the water. Just the speed of the water, it's like trying to dam something up, or like when you're trying to get up with skis and you don't get up. So I know everyone's so anxious and wanting to help, and as Margaret Stewart from LAFD said, they do have a plan. They are working on this. It just takes a minute to get down the river and get in place and sort of get a game plan on what we can do to hopefully save this dog, who has been literally swimming, treading water, holding onto a rope, or walking for an hour now.
We're looking at yet another person there looking down at the dog. You notice how the people were running along the side of the dog. That gives you kind of an idea of how quick the water was moving. They would get into a position where they thought they would be able to do something, and before they knew it, the dog floated right by. So once again, a little bit less of water flow here, and that's good. David, can we do a right pedal turn? We got exhaust. But you see that more people there looking over the side and trying to get a look at the dog and see what they can do, but really not much they can do from that shoreline. And like you said, those ropes and sticks and stuff, that's only scaring the dog and moving them away from people. Yeah. So let's hope that the best chance is coming up here in a short time. Here comes another person with a rope that's going to try to throw something over, and that's not going to do much at all.
Well, I mean, it's not, you know, this is a dog, not a human. They can't pull themselves up on the rope up the wall.
Exactly.
It does not work that way.
No.
Even at that point, though, they probably wouldn't be able to because they're so they would be so exhausted. But he is in medium depth water now and moving pretty quickly, almost like he's jogging along there. We've seen him walk. We've seen him try to stop a couple times. We've seen him go back upriver, probably out of fear because people, you know, he sees somebody and just gets frightened. But then also, too, the helicopters above, you know, when rescues happen like this, there's a lot of noise. And, of course, dogs aren't going to understand exactly what's going on. So it will be interesting when he comes up on these firefighters, how they end up rescuing him.
Yeah, I think this is the part where the river runs through the, looks like the Television City lot.
Yes.
Something Vera and I are familiar with from a long time ago. Yeah.
That, you know, when you, as a civilian, try to make an attempt to rescue the dog, not only do you put your life in jeopardy, you put the rescue team's life in jeopardy, but most importantly, or not most importantly, but also very important, is that you're delaying the rescue of the dog.
Yeah.
So if you just let the professionals do their job, we appreciate your good intentions, but you're just complicating the situation. You're delaying the rescue of the dog, and that is the ultimate goal.
Oh, look how shallow this is. I mean, this is
great.
This is paw deep water. I mean,
Margaret Stewart from LAFD, thank you for being patient and coming back and forth with us. He's in very shallow water right now, which is great, and he's running along. Any updates on what the department is doing?
Well, we have rescuers in place along the river. We knew that it was getting shallower here. By tracking the dog as he was able to keep running, we're trying to shepherd him to a safer location where we can control him and get him or her to safety. I just can't emphasize enough discouraging bystanders who don't know how to operate safely in this environment. They think that we're not doing anything, but we are in place. We have the right equipment, we have the right training, and we're evaluating the situation so that a rescue can be made with minimal risk to all involved. So as you can see, we have our firefighters there where it gets dry and shallow, and we can work to get the dog to safety.
Margaret, you had mentioned a capture strap and several other things and a haul system. What are they doing here? What is this considered?
Well, I mean, those firefighters are on a rope system to secure them in case they go down. They will be under control. Right now, they're likely going to just use their hands to try to grab hold of the dog. But as you can see, the dog, is now running away the other direction. He's not cooperative. He doesn't understand what's happening. It's scared. So this is the challenge that that we face in these types of situations. We don't have a cooperative patient here.
Well, he is. I guess hopefully he's contained at this point because I don't think he wants to get back into that deeper water. So he probably won't go too far up here. And then hopefully we'll turn around and head back in the other direction.
Well, the great thing is, and you're so right, like at least we're not seeing him in water where he's going to get so exhausted that he drowns. That was the big fear. And here he's going back up, but he's not going to go into deeper water. He's going to turn back around and stay in this area, but it could take hours for them to eventually try to trap him, or he just literally gets exhausted. But it does look like he is going back into the deeper water.
I don't think that'll last too long because he's going to have to fight against the current.
Yeah, here he goes.
See,
he just got knocked over.
Yeah, see, he's not going to have much of a choice but to go the other way.
Well, that would be fantastic if he goes in that direction. And just the great thing is like, you know, it may take hours to get him, but at least we're not going to watch him, you know, lose his life on live TV. That's what we were all desperately worried about, and all the pedestrians and people who are trying to save him along the side of the river. At least there is this shallow portion of the river. And we saw, we had to pull away because the dog turned around and went in the opposite direction. But there are firefighters, as Margaret had mentioned, on a rope system. Margaret, do you want to explain that a little bit? I know you guys come from, oh, she's not there anymore. Okay, okay.
All right, so he's in shallow water, but I guess he's under the bridge there, which is, oh, there he's heading back up again. Still in fairly shallow water though, but like I said, he cannot keep doing this because he will just he will exhaust himself, which I'm sure he's exhausted already.
Yeah.
The water there by the drainage, you can see, is coming up so much stronger.
Yeah.
Gil, if you're with us, it looks like they're all set up. He just needs to head in the right direction.
Yeah, Glenn and Lou, he took one look at those rescuers downstream and said, no way, I'm going back the other way. I'm hearing the fire department discussing about other options, maybe putting some sort of watercraft in the water to maybe encourage the dog to continue south towards those other rescuers that are on foot. So we'll see if that happens, but I'm not sure how they would get that craft into the water to begin with. There might be some place downstream, but yeah, this dog gets to this point and cannot go any further against that stream. And then it gets light here on the other side of the bridge, and then he feels like maybe he can go back that way, but doesn't quite understand what's happening. But for now, the fire department doing their best to try to get this dog in out of the river and safe, but unfortunately the dog just doesn't understand that the people in the river are trying to help him.
Yeah. Well, again, thank goodness there's shallow water here. He's trying to figure it out. Maybe at some point they'll be able to bring his owner or something and he'll recognize her. He's looking up, listening, trying to figure out what he should be doing here. I'm also being told that the guys who are at the bottom, they call them catchers, is the term that they go by, the guys who are on the ropes at the bottom there. So that'll be, he's not that far, actually, from them. He just has to trust. And that's going to be, because he's scared, so that's going to be the pickle. But I think that actually is a good idea, not that my opinion matters, but to drop the watercraft in and then sort of force him toward the other firefighters.
Herd him in. Herd him in.
Herd him in, exactly.
Yes, exactly. Now he's going back against the stream here, and he'll get to the point where he gets past the bridge, hits that water, and realizes, oh, I can't go any further. Keeps trying this over and over again, but it looks like he's going to get into that heavier flow and then won't be able to go much further than this. So it just continues. I don't know if the people on the side of the river there are helping. It seems like the dog's very distracted by them and a little bit afraid of that. So maybe if they just let the dog, do what it's doing, and then let the firefighters get in there and do it. We've seen dogs rescued from the water before. The fire department knows how to handle it properly, and they do a great job in trying to save all life. But here, this dog not knowing what to do, and then you have people yelling at him from the side of the river, it'd be very confusing for that animal.
Yeah, for sure. So we jumped on a little less than an hour ago, just before our 3 o'clock newscast, but this call had come in prior to that about 30 minutes ago. If you're just joining us, a woman and her dog in the river, and the call came in that they were there. LAFD showed up. Ultimately, they were able to rescue the woman. She slipped out a couple times, just worried about her dog, but they were able to rescue her. And then the dog has just been traveling along this river. And it looks pretty easy here if you're just joining us and watching him run in the river, but we've watched him swim in the river, tread water in the river, go back upstream. Pedestrian or a bystander tried to rescue him and hold on to him for a while on a rope and a pulley system, and just he has been going nonstop for over an hour now. So the good news is you can see some of that video there earlier on the right-hand side. The left-hand side is live. Now he's going back upstream. Again, he's been frightened by something, so he's headed in the opposite direction.
Yeah, it looked like those people there were talking to the dog and he just got afraid of him and just starting going back northbound or up the river. And it just doesn't seem to help much for the dog to be distracted like that. But still, the firefighters are still down in that convergence point where the LA River meets another waterway there, and he gets to this point, turns back around because he can't go any further. So the ideal thing would be to move this dog further south and then get into an area where they can at least be on foot and try to capture the dog. They're also calling for the animal control officers to come in and maybe play a role in this as well.
That's probably a good idea. They would probably have the proper equipment to get this dog corralled and get him out of the river. And again,
Yes.
he's right in the middle of a TV production lot in Studio City where this river runs through it or next to it. And he has hit a shallow part of the water. There is a tributary that feeds into this, but it just so happens to be a dry spot. And again, the dog just keeps going back and forth till he hits water that's too deep upstream and turns around and starts heading back. But again, he sees those firefighters down there on the shallow end ready to pull him out of the water, and he just continues to keep just going back and forth. He's got to be exhausted at this point. I mean, fortunately, the water at that point's about ankle deep for the dog, so it's not too bad. But a lot of, again, we've seen through this entire ordeal, a lot of people over the side spectating, yelling down at the dog, which certainly doesn't help the situation. And then you see earlier where this man had jumped into the river, managed to grab the dog and grab onto a rope, but by the time this firefighter dropped down to pick him up, the dog fought loose and they had to rescue the man, and the dog just continued on down the river. But at least the good news is with the depth of the water at this point, we don't have to be concerned about the dog drowning right now.
Yes. Actually, it's almost like he's on dry land right there on the river on the left-hand side. And earlier you can see images from the guy, and that's when the dog let loose there and just kept going down. But if we stay on this rescue, it was pretty fascinating to watch how LAFD was able to go in. And this guy was strong in the beginning, but he was thoroughly exhausted. You can see he was stretched out, barely able to hold on to that rope. And the firefighter was able to go in and put a strap around this guy. Ooh, he lost his handling there, but what a great job by the firefighter there, really staying focused on him even though he lost his grip on that rope, and they were able to lift him. They didn't take him all the way up to the helicopter. They just dropped him over that wall, and right when they dropped him over that wall, the guy collapsed. He was thoroughly exhausted. Well, I'm super happy that the water is, the river is dry. And this is, so you can see at the bottom of your screen, so that's where the merge happens. And so if you looked real close, there's two little yellow dots at the point.
Two rescuers right there.
So those are two rescuers, and they have these ropes that are called catchers. And apparently they can hold a lot of weight, and they're going to be there. But then you also, you know, the dog could just merge over to the right, and they might lose it there. But let's see what happens here. Hopefully the dog won't be afraid of them, but he's probably going to swim over. Yep, there he goes.
That's what he's trying to do.
It's going to be very difficult to get him. Maybe he'll be smart enough to know that they're wanting to help him, but it just has to be terrifying for him with the helicopter sounds and these people in yellow and not knowing what's going on, and he's tired.
Well, if you get a little closer to him, maybe they could sweet talk him a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
but,
get a big treat for him.
That's not working out. Maybe, have a treat, draw him in with some good dog food or a dog treat. But that's about as close as he gets. Again, he continues to just head back the other direction until he hits the water that's too strong and too powerful, and he can't fight the current. Then he heads right back toward the firefighters and trying to catch him.
Well, Glenn and Lou, I can tell you that I think the fire helicopter here was being helpful in forcing the dog downriver there, but the dog saw the rescuers there and has decided to move back. You see that downwash? That's a lot of wind coming down onto anybody, but that was probably the thing that was forcing the dog down the river there for a while until he saw those yellow jackets ahead of him and decided to go back the other way. But a good attempt here by the airship overhead to try to get that dog to go south, but now he's up back towards the bridge.
Well, you've also said you've heard on the radio that animal control may be called in as well, which would be great because they have their own set of tools, and then the firefighters from City Fire will be able to utilize what they've trained for. And so eventually this dog hopefully will be able to get captured here, especially since he's not in such deep water. I mean, we saw him, you know, almost where he was dropped under the water with just his head up at one point, just because of the speed of the current and his exhaustion. And it's really nice to actually see him walking along the pavement there and not in as much danger as he was, or she. Big dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Is
Exhaust.
if and when he finally gives up, better choice of words is, you know, it might still be a struggle to get him out of the water just because of the size. And again, this is all taking place on the LA River. This is on a studio lot in Studio City. That's what's known as the Gilligan's Island Bridge, because just on the other side of that is where they used to film that TV show back in the 1960s. And that's about as far as he gets, and then he heads back toward the firefighters. It's just kind of a back and forth. And eventually this will come to an end. But the good news is as you see on that near the wall there is the water has receded a lot, where he can actually walk instead of have to, you know, paddle his way through the water.
It would be really great if the owner of the dog is not too exhausted or injured from her rescue, that they could bring her closer to him. Maybe he would stay in one place, but who knows? They may not do something like that. And he's traveled a long ways from where he started, so that could take forever. And so the folks here on the side, like, I think it's just keeping him from going forward.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a distraction and confusion to him.
Yeah. Come on.
You can see him looking up at the people and turning around. Never mind the helicopter.
It surprises me that I know you had mentioned to keep the flooding down, but you know, just growing up around water, and maybe not the LA River, there was always an entrance, you know, somewhere where you could, you know, like a road that angles down, to be able to utilize a trailer or some kind of watercraft in there. Now it looks like they're probably gonna, if they bring in a helicopter, they're just gonna have to drop a watercraft from the helicopter down into the water. Maybe they'll drop someone, maybe they drop some firefighters on one side and then have the guys with the ropes near the end. I guess we're just starting to guess as to what could happen, but I'm sure they have a plan, and this is sort of like a indirect standoff. Those standoff SWAT things that we see sometimes, even though the dog hasn't done anything wrong.
Yeah, that's where we are at this point. And again, the LA River, it's all been, you know, because of floods over the years. Years ago, they built these huge culverts, you know, cement to control the flow of the river and the flooding. And unfortunately, every time we get a big rainstorm,
somebody falls in.
The rivers that's usually, you know, just dry cement ends up with somebody or an animal floating down the river, and that's what we're seeing in the case here. And again, here's the dog trying to go back up against the current, and he gets so far and realizes he can't really go any further, and heading back the other direction. And again, this started about 2:20 this afternoon. And the dog was in the river, which we assume was his owner, which was a female who was rescued. They couldn't get the dog out. We saw a man go into the river. He managed to grab the dog and hold onto a rope, but when they tried to save the two of them, the dog fought loose, and the fire department had to spend their time rescuing that man, getting him out of the river. And the dog floated down to pretty much where he is now. And if, again, he's able to walk here, but a couple of feet up here is where it gets deep, and he continues to turn around, and then he heads back toward where those two catchers are waiting for him.
Yeah.
He's basically walking on cement, you know, along the wall. There is no water.
Yep.
And, you know, see, he's not going to go very far.
Yeah.
Have you heard any more chatter on the radio of what LAFD's thinking of doing?
Yeah, Lou and Glenn, it sounds like there's at least 4, maybe 5 firefighters that are walking upstream from where that convergence was, where the 2 men were in there with the ropes. They're walking towards the dog right now. So maybe the dog sees them, maybe not yet, but they are walking. They are in the river. They're making their way towards the dog right now, upstream. The dog now coming downstream. So let me come out here. We know the dog is going to be in this area for now. Let me come over here and show you what we're hearing on the scanners. Well, I just passed them. There they are, up along the dry side. So there they are, 4, I don't know if they're firefighters or a combination of the animal control officers, but they are in the water. They're able to walk, or in the river, I should say, able to walk. Now here's the dog. Now the dog may see him now, so the dog has 2 options: try to walk against the water or walk to them, or maybe even getting in the water and then flowing by him. Hopefully the dog doesn't do that. But they do have firefighters in place here right now to be able to make that rescue. 4 of them at least walking up the river. They're on the right-hand side of your screen. I'll push back in and show you once again.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. So they're along in that dry area.
Yes,
and
they're
what
on
do
the
they
north
have
side.
with them? What do they have? Are they ropes that they have with them, or what?
It's hard to tell
like
what they're carrying there.
And they don't have like a strap or a bag, or, well, they have a lot of stuff on them, so I'm sure they're...
Well, the one that's closest to us has something there in his hand, but...
It's one of those yellow straps, like the one that they were trying to get around the guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so now they're talking to the dog.
He's trying to sweet talk him now.
Talking to the dog.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. So here's the moment of truth. Is the dog going to go into the water upstream or go to him? Nope. He's afraid of him. So that's unfortunate. But the good news is, at least now, the dog is going to try his best to go upstream. And look at that. He's really in full stride there. But hitting that water, you're going to run out of steam real quick, and we'll have no choice to go back.
So now he's coming back down.
Coming back down towards them. They're standing on the right side. They stop. He stops. Yeah, they stop. And you see one of the firefighters in the water there is treading water or stepping in the water. So the dog trying to do, there he goes. He's going to go into the, right into the deepest part. And now he's going to float down. Maybe this will be an opportunity right here. Yeah. Maybe, David, let's slide right. Yep. Slide right. And let's get onto the other side of the bridge. This is going to be it right here. This firefighter, all 3 of them in the water, rope around the neck. They got him.
They got him.
Great job. They got him. They hooked him there. And they have the dog now.
Awesome.
And now they're going to pull the rescuer out of the water, the hardest part of the stream of that water. He rolls around. He gets to solid ground there. And thankfully, they did a great job here lassoing that dog. And knew exactly what to do to bring this to an end.
Can we do a golf clap for LAFD?
I was going to say.
Thank you.
Very nice job.
Nice job. And the dog is so happy right now. Oh, this is such a beautiful ending.
Oh, these guys aren't so bad after all.
Oh, so amazing. Wow. So literally, they had the strap where they were just able to put it around his neck, and thank goodness there's some dry land there and cement where the dog can actually, and the firefighters can walk, and they'll be able to take him and put him in a vehicle. And oh, that dog's going to sleep tonight.
Like a baby.
Like a baby. Oh, I feel so much better now. I'm sure everybody watching now, too, feels great that LAFD was able to rescue not only the owner, but also this dog and the young guy who jumped in earlier to try and rescue the dog as well. Nice job. All right. Wow.
Well, a happy ending to quite an ordeal for a dog owner and her dog who did a lot of swimming and a lot of walking in the LA River today, finally rescued by LA City Fire Department. A textbook job here at the end with a lot of mishaps along the way, but this is coming to a happy conclusion on the LA River in Studio City.
All right, so basically these 4 firefighters came out. They had basically positioned themselves downriver, obviously, because we've seen this dog go in all levels of water when he was being rescued. And so now they were able to pinpoint it and actually walk to the dog, which was fantastic, and even getting in the water to be able to lasso him, essentially lassoing him with that strap. The dog is a little nervous, but you can tell he's like almost proud,
Yeah.
excited to be with the guys. And I'm sure there are a lot of dog lovers in the LAFD. And so what a great ending to this story that could have been very bad at some point today. About midway through, we were super concerned because at one point he was not even just treading water. He was like, the current was pushing him. You could tell he was exhausted or her, and he was beginning to drop into the water where just the head was showing, and that's where things can get really scary. And also with the helicopters and just pure exhaustion for this dog.
Well, he's a lot calmer now than he was.